Welcome back to another episode of the Top of Off Cricket Podcast. I am your host, Kevin Henry, and with me, I got my boy them, Walter and Sam. Now, we're talking about this West Indies team and who we expect to be out there at the Kensington Oval in 2.5 weeks, right? We're 17 days away. Before you spin around, the task's gonna be spinning. All right. So we've named our bowlers. We've named our lower middle order batsmen and or who we expect to be in the lower middle order with the keeper included. So we're gonna do the top four, right? On this episode, we're gonna do the top four, and I think this one is gonna bring more intrigue than anything else. This one is gonna get real dicey and spicy. Because I am interested to know what these two got. Because what I got here for drop. I know enough of y'all gonna jump in the comments and and got all kinds of things to say. But I'm gonna start with Walter again. Where top four looking like, my boy?
Yeah, it's stressing me out. This West Indies, if this is stressing me out, and I'm trying to be objective as possible because I am not an insular individual, and I pick if I'm Guyanese, and I'll pick a team with 11 people without one Guyanese if that's the best team to play in West Indies cricket. So obviously the easiest name to write down first is Kraigg. He will play. He will start. It was a toss-up between Louis and John Campbell. I'll want to see how John goes in the second innings if he gets a chance, but I'll play him, right? Given that he has a little more experience than Michael Louis, and even though I think he'll bat, but Louis, I'll go with Louis. No, this.
You're going with Louis or John Campbell? Which one is it?
I've gone with John Campbell. So
okay, just now you say you're going with Louis.
No, I'm not necessarily going with Louis. I said I considered Louis, fellas.
Oh, you considered Louis. Okay.
Considered Louis. I'm going to get my thing. Go back and check, people. Kraigg, John Campbell. Now we're giving somebody a debut here, and Sammy will smile. It's Brandon King. And I will play Athanaze. That's my four. However, this is my four. I must say this is my four based on the fact that if I don't know if Sammy has spoken to had long conversations with Hope, right? If Hope decides that he wants to play, I would play him in front of Athanaze. But based on the information we have now, my four are Kraigg, John Campbell, Brandon King, and Athanaze. I must say that I consider Django because he played and he looked good in Pakistan, right? And Athanaze, even though he has not lived up to potential, he has had some scores. He has not been too bad, and he just needs to go on. I've left Hodge out because I don't think he has been doing himself justice in the last couple of months. So that's my four and who I considered. I'll say this again. If Hope decides that he wants to play, I'm gladly removing Athanaze. I'm still sticking with Brandon King, giving him his debut against the mighty Australians. Okay. I might be wrong.
Sammy, you want to take a stab at it? Let's see how brave you can be.
I'm going to go, of course, Kraigg Brathwaite at the top, John Campbell at 2. I have Carty at 3. Yep. And I have Kevin Hodge in at 4.
Play Kevin Hodge, Sammy?
Yeah, play Kevin.
Sammy.
Let me.
I will of course see my one wait. Like if
oh man, you call your thing, buddy.
That's why I go with. Right? Look, we can look at numbers, right? Or and say X, Y, or Z. But Athanaze, I won't be surprised if Athanaze makes the 11 based on what I've been seeing in recent times. And what do I mean by that? The fact that he's been allowed to play pretty much every match in recent times in the Caribbean. So he was in the
he's played all since India came to the West Indies a couple of years ago. He has played all the test matches since then.
Good. And so of course he's in the unofficial test matches. Right? So that says to me that there's a clear position from the Cricket West Indies camp that look, we want you in this test side and we're going to give you as many opportunities. My concern with Athanaze, why I won't mind leaving him off, is just the decision making. Gives away his wicket too easily, right? Kavem Hodge, Pakistan is still in my head. The adjustments I saw him made down in Multan is still in my head. One would say, well, oh, he didn't do well in the the regional
it is well adjustment and check up there for you.
4-day competition, what have you. But at this juncture, I'm willing to give him a nudge over Athanaze. I will admit, however, that one of the things that Athanaze has over him is Athanaze bats left-handed. Right? So that's another consideration. But at this point, I'm still like, you know what? No, I won't put Athanaze in my KC Carty, you'd say, well, all right. KC Carty didn't do well in the regional 4-day, right? And I do recognize that, look, white ball cricket is different than test cricket. You talk about field restrictions, for example, as one big difference. But given what he's done in recent times, in recent weeks, all the way out in the UK, I'm inclined to give him a nudge. Is Cricket West Indies going to put him in? 10% chance.
10% chance.
But this is about my top 4. That's my top 4. Brandon King, Walter, you said, I'd be happy. Yeah, I would love to see the young man play test cricket. But he hasn't given me anything to cheer about in recent times. Granted, he did put up some scores in the 4-day. Could have done way better, And in my mind, I'm hearing Kevin's term, or it's not fit for purpose. So if something is not fit for purpose, our international cricketers have got to beat ball, have got to be consistent and to put some things up here. You see? And let's face it, sometimes cricketers need a break. And by the way, I'm speaking here without any knowledge, right? I didn't call any of his people and get any inside information. I don't know what's going on with Brandon King, right? I don't have any inside information, but I'm just wondering, is it a case that he needs rest? I see him stepping off from Ireland, and I hear the conspiracy theories about, this break he's taking from the T20s or what have you is because he's coming home and he'll be in the camp for the test series. I've heard that comment, but I'm going to take it on merit that, you know what, he's just taking some time off. So that's it for me.
Yeah, when the Cricket West Indies made the release, they said he's taking time off for personal reasons. So you got to take it for what it is. If he's taking it for personal reasons, there's no sense in trying to get no conspiracy theories,
Right.
But my top 4 would look something like this. Kraigg Brathwaite, even though I believe that at this stage of Craigg's career, this would be a make or break series for him. I personally think, he needs to deliver, right? And deliver in a big way. But there's no challenges to Craigg's number one spot as an opener in the West Indies, and he's there by default. I'll go John Campbell over Mikhail Louis. Even though I'm watching Louis last week, and I'm thinking like, okay, nothing much has changed, right? And coming up against the Australians, and they knowing your weakness, the Australians are like shark. I'm more inclined to give John Campbell a go. So John Campbell gets my nod. At number 3, form is important, and Casey Carty in this moment has form, right? I don't think there's a more informed player right now at that position. It doesn't matter that it's one day cricket, it's 50 over cricket. You're still required to bat for a long period of time, right? He has shown the inclination to bat for a long period of time, even though I've been pissed off with him at the moments that he's gotten out. He has still spent those 3 innings in excess of 30-something overs at the crease. That's a long time, right? That's a very, very long time to be batting. And you want your number 3 batsman to be spending a considerable amount of time at the crease. So my number 3 would be Casey Carty. At number 4, I'm going Shai Hope. I believe there's a very good chance that Shai Hope will be at Bridgetown in 2.5 weeks. I believe there's a very good chance that Shai Hope will be there, right? The reason why I haven't included Athanaze is because of the level of irresponsibility that I see. Today he was batting very well, and it was a repeat of what he has done over the past 2 years. He gets the 65.
Give it away?
And he gave it away, right? We cannot, Athanaze bats in this manner. And it kind of reminds me of Carl Hooper a little bit. And Carl Hooper actually admitted to only getting serious when he knows the chop is around the corner. But I will not compare the 2 batsmen in terms of ability, because Athanaze doesn't have ability where, when it compares to Carl Hooper. It just doesn't, right? But Athanaze has managed to eke out a half century here, eke out a half century there, eke out a half century there. He did it against England. He had a half century in that tour. On that tour, he did it against South Africa. He had a half century. He did it against Bangladesh. He had a half century. He did it against Pakistan. He had a half century. So he has managed to just keep a buzz in the selector's ear. Hey, I still there, so you see, I had a half century last week there. I had a half century the other day there. And he did it again today. And in all of those matches, he has managed to give his wicket away. His wicket wasn't earned. It was given. It was gifted. Once again today, he gifted his wicket away when he needed to stand up there and bat for a prolonged period of time. He needed to take it to the end today. He started hitting the ball sweetly and then got ahead of himself and played bat up and catch. Now, I don't want my number 4 batsman playing bat up and catch. I know Shai Hope will have a bit more care with that position. Based on his experience, based on what we've seen in one-day cricket over the past 3-4 years, when he's racked up all those centuries, and he's still batting well.
So you think that Hope will be? I didn't put Hope in my team because I'm not sure, right?
Well, we can't be sure. This is not about being sure, right? This is not about being sure. We're not sure about anybody here other than Kraigg and Roston Chase and Jamel Warrican. We're not sure about anybody else. You understand? But this is who we feel that should be walking out there. And I feel that Shai Hope...
No. The reason why I say sure, like if he's gonna, like with the rest of them, we know they're available. But I don't know if he's made himself available to play Test cricket again.
I didn't send you the video. He has.
He has.
He has. He has made himself available.
Okay, so.
And in fact, when it came to the captaincy, it's my understanding that he was invited to be part of the process, right?
It is my understanding that he was offered the job.
Well, what was said was that he was invited to be part of the process, right? But we all know, yes, that they wanted him to be the captain for the test side, right? But the technical position is, right, or the official position rather, not technical, but official position is that, yes, we invited him to be part of this process. And he said no, he didn't want that to be part of it. He didn't want the captaincy. But he would still like to play test cricket. So there's a distinction there between being test captain and playing test cricket. That is my reading of it. So
I like, as with us, one of the episodes we asked a question about Casey Carty. I like Casey Carty's based on form. So I'll make one change. I'm a scratch Brandon King and switch between Hope and Athanaze. So my top four will be Kraigg, John Campbell, Hope, Athanaze, between 3 and 4.
I didn't include Brandon King for the fact that Brandon is woefully out of form right now. And
I can't argue against that. 2,
there are too many times that Brandon gets to 50, 60, 70 in first class cricket and thinks, well, okay, I'm not saying that that's what he thinks, but he gives it away, right? I want to see Brandon King, if he's going to be my number 3, number 4 batsman, whatever the case it might be. When you get to 70 and 80, you push on to 100, 120, 130. You understand? That needs to become habitual. You can't consistently be 55, you're out 60 something, you're out 70 something. Because here's the thing. 55 in first class cricket in the West Indies looks like about between 50 and 20 at the international level. You understand me? That's how hard you have to work for 20 runs. 85, 90 in first class cricket in the West Indies looks like about 35, between 35 and 40. So essentially he's getting a start, but he's not pushing on, right? I want to see Brandon convert those 50s, those 60s, those 70s, and make big hundreds. Convert those into hundreds. It looks very different. It puts teams under pressure, right? They know when they see you come out, they're already telling themselves, okay, we got to work hard to get this wicket. And that is what I want to see from West Indian batsmen. I done with the Brandon King situation.
Oh, by the way, I must give like an unrelated thing to big up our friend Shondell, who watches all our episodes. And she cussed me out, say, I must put my hand here. So Shondell, I ain't doing that. And Kevin's auntie, who is a big fan.
Yeah. Auntie Jenny
thanks for the encouragement.
She gets the notification.
Thanks, yes, sure.
Yeah, she watches it on YouTube religiously. She gets
all the other people.
Yeah, she set it up to get
Auntie Jenny, thank you. Shondell is a big fan. She also gets a notification and she watches, and then she said she uses our discussion points in her arguments with her friends. Like she know what she doing.
Big up, Shondell. Big up. Much love, much
Yeah,
love.
yeah.
Anyways, fellas,
One love, one love.
interesting top fours. I can't wait to see what Darren Sammy will do in a matter of days with regards to the selection of the West Indies team squad to turn out against Australia. And was that on the 25th of June, Wednesday, 25th of June, 2.5 weeks, right? Looking forward to it. I'm amped because like I said before, and you guys have shared the same belief. I think the Australians are ripe for the picking. South Africa will give us a pretty good idea in the coming days of where they are. I think they're vulnerable.
And I guess I'd also like to see what the people have to say in the comments too as well. Remember,
you know what's interesting about all this, fellas, is that I think once West Indian cricket fans actually go through this exercise and try to force yourself to an 11, we have a better appreciation for how difficult it is for cricket West Indies, because it's very easy for people to sit on the sidelines,
Yeah.
Oh, they pick Athanaze. Why they didn't put Hodge in, or they pick Hodge? Why they didn't put Athanaze in, or what have you? But again, you could say all manner of things after the fact. You see,
it's an unenviable job.
I got like 7, 8 names here, people, and with I forgot about Carty, so there's 9. To put in Carty here is 9, and it's probably even more.
It's an unenviable job, right? I wouldn't want to be in their shoes. I like being on this side here, sir, and I give me I try to give my best.
We make comments at the end of the day. Yeah, and we could make comments. We love West Indies cricket, and this is what we're doing. The truth is though we've been doing this since we're kids. If I go back to Ghana, I have a book that we've been writing. Me and Greg used to write all the squads for the various first class teams back in the 90s. This before we had all of these kind of things, right? So this is not stuff that me and Kevy and them doing this thing, talking about cricket. We used to sometimes don't play cricket. We used to go in the library as 11, 12, 13-year-olds, 14-year-old boys, and go and watch Benson and Hedges and talk cricket and them kind of thing. We used to play cricket with paper and get me big tests in the classroom. And get me test matches and all these kind of things.
Yeah, there used to be test matches in the classroom. Yeah, used to be test matches in the classroom. That's the nostalgia of it. Anyways, fans, it was good. Yeah. It was good discussion tonight, guys. Looking forward to the next discussion. I know that the A-team boys are battling out there. We ended the day